Hello, I'm Milan Lelich and you're watching TVP World Talks. Friday's Anchorage talks are billed as a possible milestone in the Ukraine peace process, with Trump meeting Putin to discuss an end to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Yet, as the deadline approaches, there are lingering doubts as to whether the deal would bring even a modicum of justice to Ukraine, its defenders and its people. Is the proposed exchange of territories likely to bring peace or actually plunge the continent into even greater chaos? Joining us now is Milan Lelich, political analyst at RBC-Ukraine. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So first of all, fundamental question. It has often been said that nothing about Ukraine should be decided without Ukraine. And yet we have this summit, and it could be argued that this, unfortunately, is exactly this. They're talking about Ukraine without Ukraine. What do you make of this?
Yeah, surely it may look this way, and we may never know what will happen behind these closed doors, despite all the leaks and all the information, all the official comments or any official communication between Donald Trump and Western European leaders, between Trump and Zelenskyy. He promised to give a call to Zelenskyy immediately as he walks out of the room after the meeting, and but still we may never know what will be said there. But anyway, according to my information, what my sources told me about yesterday's very intense, several rounds of very intense communications between the European leaders, our president and Donald Trump and his team, Vice President Vance and other guys who are involved in the process, that really, as of now, it seems that Donald Trump really does understand, not just talking about it, but really he understands that no real deal may be made, especially in very sensitive areas of territory, but not only, that no deals may be made without Ukraine. So he keeps insisting that our President Zelenskyy and Vladimir Putin should sit for a bilateral meeting after that, or trilateral. Trump says, if they want to have me there, I will be there. But still, Zelenskyy will definitely be on the table, and our side also insists that the Europeans in this or that form should also be very much involved, sitting at the very same table or in any other format, who knows. What my sources say that really today the talks were pretty constructive, and Donald Trump really didn't apply any pressure, as he may apply. As from time to time he really applies. We all know how he can apply pressure to his counterparts, but they say that yesterday everything was okay. Trump seemed to listen to what he was told about the possible conditions and red lines and all the stuff, so he promised to coordinate it. Also, what's also very important is that now step number one, or perhaps even step number 0, the very fundamental thing for us is the absolute ceasefire. So first, absolute ceasefire, and only then really any substantial discussions on territories or other modalities of ceasefire or permanent stable peace may be discussed. But first, there should be ceasefire, and Trump promised everyone that he will push Putin for a ceasefire. But with Donald Trump, you never know what will happen.
What if Putin actually refuses to sit down with Zelenskyy? What if Putin says, we've agreed what is necessary with Trump, I will not speak to Zelenskyy? Putin has actually been known to delegitimize Zelenskyy using false narratives to claim that he has no right to represent Ukraine at all. What if this happens?
Well, I think that still, surely after the worst case scenario that is still on the table, unfortunately, is that really Trump and Putin think that they strike a certain deal, and then Trump may try to impose those conditions, those terms of the deal on Ukraine. But I don't think that it will work, and Trump will also understand, if he doesn't understand it right now, he will understand it very soon, that anyway, without Ukraine at the table of negotiations, no substantial progress will be made, because we are one of the parts of this war, and the war is fought on our land. So without us, nothing. So they can, shake hands and decide everything, but it all, by definition, it all will be implemented. Any terms will be implemented here on Ukrainian soil. So without Ukraine, without Ukrainian authorities, nothing big gonna happen. And I think also Donald Trump understands this as well. As for the Putin and his reluctance to have a meeting with Zelenskyy, perhaps in any potential format, yes, you're absolutely right. So Putin has invested a lot of time, and his propaganda has invested a lot of money into these very weak attempts to delegitimize Zelenskyy. They failed, but still for them, Zelenskyy is not a legitimate leader. He is a dictator and all this bullshit. But so I think that Putin, after all these words being said, I think for Putin it will be a heavy blow to his image. He understands that he will sit at the same table with this like dictator and Nazi and Western puppet and everything. So I think he will try to avoid it by all means. But I think that Donald Trump really does have enough tools. He has the leverage. He has the sanction leverage, all sorts of leverage, because he's a leader of the most powerful nation in the world, the United States. So I think that in best scenario, he will apply this pressure. So Putin will very reluctantly, but still agree to a meeting. But I don't think it will happen immediately, as Trump said yesterday. So he said that I wish it happened very soon, almost immediately after this Alaska summit. I don't think it will be like next week or something. The Russians will try to buy some time, perhaps to make any new gains on the battlefield. They hope to make them in the meantime. But still, such a summit, if it goes this way, the best possible scenario, then I think that such a perhaps trilateral with Trump's involvement meeting may happen in more or less foreseeable future, so to say.
Right, so let's address the elephant in the room, exchange of territories. Now, exchange implies something bilateral. You give something away, you gain something else. Now, what would Russia give away?
First of all, the very concept of exchange of territories or land swaps, as sometimes the American officials put it, remains unclear to our side. I consulted yesterday evening with some sources in Zelensky's team. I asked them the very same question, like, do you understand the very concept? What do the Americans suggest? What do the Russians suggest? Will we agree to this or that? So what's the concept, basically? They said that as of now, they do not understand what's all about. What is this territory exchange is about? Who will give up what in exchange for what? But anyway, I think that the red line that will never be crossed under any conditions, it will not be crossed, is the official recognition of any territories, of any occupied territories.
So if no official recognition would mean delaying this for some uncertain future, for a possible diplomatic resolution, right? At some point in time?
Yes. So we can agree, perhaps not formally, not officially, but de facto agree that Russia really de facto or effectively controls Crimea, parts of Zaporizhia Oblast, Kherson Oblast, Donetsk Oblast, and Luhansk Oblast. We will agree that yes, this is the reality on the ground. We will not deny this. But still, so we can delay or in any I don't know, ceasefire agreement, peace treaty, how it would be called, we may say that, okay, for example, the Crimea issue, we agree that the Crimea issue, that Crimea remains a part of Ukraine. We think this. We are sure that, and the world recognizes, but we will not try to solve this problem by military means during next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, who knows. This may be possible. As for the real land swaps on the ground, I'm absolutely sure that Ukraine will never give up the north or the northwest, of the Donetsk Oblast that is still under our control. And Zelenskyy has said it multiple times, and also unofficially the members of his team I speak with, they also say that this is just a non-starter. It will never happen under no conditions, definitely. May some really very, very minor like exchanges of territories near the front lines, called like the flattening of the front line. May this happen? Well, I think this is possible. May something happen with these small chunks of Ukrainian territory that Russians still more or less control in other areas, like in Sumy Oblast, in Kharkiv Oblast? May they be involved in some sort of an exchange, again, to flatten the border or to flatten the front line? I think this is a theoretical opportunity. Yes, this may be, but
so it remains to be seen. The world is now waiting with bated breath for the meeting between Trump and Putin. Meanwhile, Milan Lelich was our guest today here on TVP World. Thank you very much for joining us and for sharing your insight. And I'm Milan Lelich. You're watching TVP World. Please stay with us for more latest news and updates.